Good morning and happy Tuesday. Coming to you live from a secret location for week 11. Um, just a couple announcements before we start talking about the work. One, like many of you, I suffered some bright space outage issues over the weekend that cost me a couple days of work. So apologies in advance for the lateness of the assignments getting up this week. And apologies also for still having not posted scores for SA3 just yet. That's the second thing I want to say. I want to just sort of say to everybody in this class, please hold off on the panicky emails about the fact that you received a 0. I haven't posted the grades yet. I'll let you know when it will be within a couple of days. I am actively working on your class. I will be done very soon, hopefully. Um, so just hold off on worrying about what that grade means in your grade book for just now, and give me a couple days to just get everything caught up. And when you see that I've done that, we can start sending panicky emails after that. So um, the work for this week is fairly straightforward. Last week the goal was to begin research on the train scenario. The goal was just to find a couple of just broad internet sources, perhaps, to help answer some specific questions about the train, about the people on the tracks, about the responsibilities of the person on the bridge. You know, we're coming at this topic from a wide variety of angles, and there are things that we sort of need to know in order to gauge the most likely scenario that we're dealing with and make the best choice, or at least argue that one choice is best. So this week, we're going to make use of that library tutorial stuff that we did last week. We are going to turn our attention to library sources and sources that come from either our library specifically, or an online academic database made available through the college. I'm not necessarily going to limit anybody in terms of what they can and cannot use in terms of library resources, but I'll direct your attention specifically to the very first database on that list if you click from the library homepage, and that is Academic OneFile. And Academic OneFile is perhaps the most generalized database of academic articles, meaning it covers a wide variety of topics. There's others that will give you diverse information, but Academic OneFile is probably the biggest. Many of the other databases that we have access to through the library are very specialized. They cover certain topics or certain fields, and Academic OneFile is kind of a general catch-all. So that would be where I start. But by all means, if you find something in one of the other databases, either because you're looking around in them or because you find something available through OneSearch, you can use that. Remember, OneSearch will give you results for everything that the college has access to, and that includes the academic databases. So what I'm looking for this week is, a little bit more research focused on some of the other aspects of the issue. We focused majority on the train last time. What might the train be carrying? How likely is it to be a passenger versus a freight train? What happens to things and people on board when trains wreck? How many people at minimum are we dealing with? Various questions like that. So this week we're turning our attention to why is the family on the track, and what sort of responsibilities does the person on the bridge who may or may not push the boulder have? When it comes to the people on the track, I think that a lot of times it's easy to sort of dismiss behavior like this as, oh, well, they're just idiots. They put themselves in harm's way, and they kind of get what's coming to them. And maybe that's how you feel after you look into it, but I'm going to make you look into it for a little bit. And so part of your research can be focused on how likely is it that pedestrians get struck by trains while they're walking on the track? I mean, is this more common than you think? Are the reasons more innocent, or at the very least mitigating in terms of why they might be there? Is there anything that a person should consider about a family walking on the track? Think about the kids, how valuable, if at all, is the life of a child over the life of an adult. Um, Various sort of things that you can take a look at when it comes to that family down there. And then as far as the person on the bridge, you can think of things like, well, what does the law say? Like, is there any situation in which you can wreck a train and not be punished if the results were relatively positive? You know, if the train were empty and 4 people were saved versus 1 person killed, or is there anything legally that might help the person make that decision? Is there anything philosophically? Many people, all the way from Thomas Paine to Martin Luther King, have said that if the laws are unjust, you got to break the laws. So even if the law says that you shouldn't do this ever, would spending a few years in jail be worth saving the life if you could go to jail knowing you did what you believe is the right thing, or what some code tells you is the right thing? What would the impact of this be on the person watching? What kind of, how traumatized would a person be watching a family get slaughtered by a train? Is there even, how likely is it that a person would even think about that? If a person were to just act on instinct, what do you think that instinct would be? Are there studies that suggest that human instinct leans one way or the other in terms of fight or flight, or freeze? These may seem like difficult subjects to address, but they are subjects that get talked about, and they are subjects that you can look into using, the resources that you have available. So bear in mind that for your works cited of this essay assignment, you need at least 2 sources from the academic database, and then all your other sources can be from the internet. They have to be credible. They have to hit that 8-point range of the credibility scale, as it were, from the source evaluation. But I would honestly expect that there would be more than just 4 sources in your essay. Various things that you might need to cite a source for, you'll cite once and then move on and never touch again, and you use that source one time to answer this one question, and you list it in your works cited page. So you'll need at least 4 sources. 2 of those have to be from the library. They have to be academic sources, and then everything else can be a source that you have gathered from the internet, from Google, from your own looking around. So that's the work ahead of us this week. There is a discussion post for the research that I've been discussing, the academic research. And then the only other thing due at the end of this week will be your works cited page. I would like for you to head into the week where your main task is just to compose this essay with your sources already decided upon and in line and ready to go for you. That shows that you have looked into this. That shows that you have at least the semblance of a plan, or at least some idea of what points you will make throughout the course of your essay as you argue either for or against pushing the boulder. So 2 things due this week: discussion post 9, which is more bridge scenario research, and then your works cited page for your essay. I'm going to give you an extra day to get the works cited page done, so that'll be due at the end of the day on Monday. Discussion post due like normal on Sunday. I'm giving you that extra day so that you can, after everyone's posted their research, look through the discussion, see if anybody's used a source that you would like to use. Anybody makes a point that you haven't thought about that you would either want to address, either as support for your own position or for perhaps refutation down the line. I will make the discussion posts available and give you 1 extra day to cull amongst everything that you have discovered and give me your works cited page. Your works cited page should still be part of your essay, but I do want to see your works your sources up front. And I guess that's it. That is the week ahead. If you have any questions, reach out. Let me know how I can help. Have fun with your writing, and talk to you soon.